Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Guys, I have the Yonex expert here with me today, so why not go over the Yonex racket lines? Stay tuned. Hey guys, do you need help organizing your tennis life? Well, think Go! We got the Axiom line here, the 9-pack duffel, my favorite bag, the 9-pack Axiom 2.0. They even make a 12-pack if you're going on tour. And my favorite backpack of all time. I love that bag. So if you want to organize your tennis life, think Go. All right, so Perry's here with me today, and we are going to talk about Yonex because he knows everything you need to know about Yonex and more, probably too much. You guys don't need to know all that, but we're just going to go over each of the lines, who they're meant for, why there's so many rackets in each line, and have any questions that I may have with him that you may have for us. Okay?
Hey.
So, welcome, Perry.
Thank you, Harry.
We're going to start with the easy stuff.
So we can start with the Astral line.
Yes.
So here we have the new Astral 120. So as you can see, it's a pretty large head size. Definitely a wide beam. Definitely a power racket. So this is for that player that doesn't necessarily hit the ball as hard as they'd like. They need the racket to help assist them.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're playing 5-5 open level men's doubles and crushing it would be a nice it would be a good Bubba 137 contender.
Oh my god, look at how big this head is. It's more like it's like a racquetball racket.
Yeah, it's very stretched out this way, but obviously a very generous sweet spot. So if you're a doubles player, it definitely would be to your advantage.
Who do you sell these to?
So, principally, probably a bit of an older player. Again, somebody who may not necessarily have the strength to hit with even say a 285 gram or and it's a smaller head size. They need something a bit more generous. So they are hitting return a serve, half volley, volley, very truncated strokes.
Right.
So they don't need to take full cuts. They just need the racket to assist them in that respect. So great if you're a double specialist, and you can go to town with that.
This could also be a great teaching racket, right?
Absolutely. You could feed all day, and super plush, very comfortable. Just a nice hitting power racket for sure.
This is the Astral line. This is the bigger 120. There's also a smaller version of this for a little bit more control. They are both super wide though. Okay.
And that's what yields the power.
Yes. So power is what the Astral line is about. Okay.
All right.
So going off to the next one, let's do Percept line next.
Sure.
So we're going to go the opposit way.
You got it.
Go from power to, this is the control line in their series of rackets.
Yeah. So as you probably know by now that the Percept had replaced the VCORE Pro line. So as you can see, it's a much thinner beam. It's a constant, beam throughout the length of the racket. This particular one is the 97D, which is the dense pattern. So it's an 1820. So if you want optimal directional control, it's 320 grams, 7 points headlight. They did away with the VDM mesh and incorporated the servo filter, which is their newer technology. So the filter is actually more in the shaft. So you have a little better sense of feel and feedback on contact. So what differentiates the Percept from the VCORE Pro of the previous gen from 2021 is a lot of people felt that was too soft. It was too flexy. It just felt like there wasn't enough feedback coming from it, too muted. So they incorporated the firm head, soft shaft approach. So they added some additional layers of graphite in the hoop of the racket to firm it up, while at the same time maintaining that 2 nom speed in the shaft, so you still get that flex point to it. And with the added servo filter, it kind of negates some of the unwanted vibration, but still has good feedback.
Right. So there's 5 rackets in this line, I believe. 97,
97,
which is that 310,
that's right.
97D, which is 320, and then the 330, which is an H.
97H.
Now, why did they make a 100 and a 100D, and who are those for?
So interesting. So the 100 and the 100D, so they increased the beam width by 2 millimeters. So instead of 21 for the 97s, it's 23. So I think they market that racket specifically for players, I think like you and I, who aren't in our
Who needs a
teens
little
and
more?
20s anymore, that still likes that more traditional even flex, but want a little more generous sweet spot, because by today's standards, 97 square inch head is a little more on the demanding side,
Right.
especially with the modern game today with the faster swing speeds. You got to have good technique to get the most out of these smaller head rackets with the thinner beam.
Right.
So that 100 and 100D, I think, is marketed to that player that still, has good quality strokes, hits well, just wants a little bit more assistance and opens up the sweet spot to get a little more lift on the ball.
Now, why did they make D versions of this and the 100?
Again, for that player that tends to hit a flatter ball,
Mm-hmm.
I think the denser the pattern, it tends to favor that player who doesn't have that modern swing that hits more linearly. So as you get denser in the string pattern, you gain directional control. You don't get the same lift on the ball, but you're able to have more pinpoint accuracy.
Got it.
For me, the 100D is kind of like the sleeper of the Percept line.
Oh, okay.
And why I say that, when I first hit it, it really surprised me in terms of how connected I felt with the ball, as well as you still have access to spin. Where it shined the most for me was up at net.
Oh.
I felt like you could put the ball wherever you wanted. It felt like an extension of my hand.
Wow.
Now I know Carousel famously used that racket for a while before he switched to Technofiber.
Oh, right.
And he did add a little weight at the 12 o'clock and the 10-2 positions, because they are a little light in the head. So if you're hitting against bigger hitters, it does need a little customization.
Yep.
But it doesn't take a lot. And
that's a light racket for Carew.
Right, which is why he
definitely had to customize it.
Yeah. And for the players at that level, obviously pro, open level, even collegiate level, it does need a little bit of weight, because it's rated at a 66 stiffness, so surprisingly firm for that type of racket, but it did need some static weight and some swing weight.
Yeah, my favorite line is the 97D, but I don't like it for the string pattern. I like it for the plow.
Yes. Yeah, the H, with the open pattern, unless
it gets away from you.
Correct. It would have been nice if they made a 1620 out of that,
right.
But hey.
So what's the number one selling racket in the Percept?
I would say the 97.
Yeah.
And the 100.
So the 310 and then the 10.6. Okay.
Yep. So and I think it accommodates the widest range of playing styles. That the Percept 97, very good platform racket, very customizable, obviously.
Right.
So a little more latitude. 97D, I think, has a little bit of a cult following.
Yep.
I'm a huge fan.
Cult.
Yeah, I've been playing with it for a while and really enjoy it. You can go to town and still has good access to spin despite the dense pattern.
Surprising, yes.
Yep.
That extra 10 grams less, but you get the plow, but you can actually change your mind last second and turn it up.
Yes, and rock solid stable. So yeah.
So this is the control line of Yonex Percepts.
Yes.
Where
would you like to go next?
Let's go that last. So let's go VCOREs.
Okay.
So VCORE line, what is this line for?
So the VCORE line is almost analogous to like Babolat's Aero line. It's designed for aerodynamics, which means faster racket head speed, which means spin production. Right. So for those players that have a more modern swing, more vertical swing path that wants to generate more topspin on their shots, this is definitely the racket line that you would want to look at. It's you have in hand the 95, which is kind of the outlier. It's a 1620 pattern, 310 grams. I always say this 95 hits like a 97.
It plays like a good 97.
Yes. Yeah, so the sweet spot's raised a little higher. As you can see, the shape of the head is a little bit more stretched out to the upper half of the hoop to expand the sweet spot a little bit more. Super quick, comes around really fast. The current version 7 series, they did soften the shaft a little bit, but not as muted as the previous version 6.
Right, version 5 was my favorite. The all
I know
red.
a lot of guys really love the 95 of that one.
So 95 is like what Perry says is the outlier. We don't know why they added this one in. They had to stick this one in somewhere. This and the Tour are kind of like the players' rackets of the VCORE series. I like the feel of this 95, so it's my favorite one in the line. It's kind of the player stick in the line with the 98 Tour.
Which is my personal pick. I like that a lot.
So yeah, those are like anomalies in the line. Most people are going to buy the 98, the VCORE 98 or the VCORE 100. The light doesn't sell too much, but if you're in it for spin, definitely the VCORE is probably going to be your racket line.
Yes, and they do offer a plus model.
Right. In the 98 and the 100.
That is correct. And I know the trend has been to go away from pluses.
Right.
But there's still guys out there that use them, and gals as well. And there's definitely benefit to it. So hopefully they don't get rid of them altogether, but they don't get enough play. They don't get enough run.
Totally. So these are compared to kind of like arrows. Do you see that?
To a degree, but it's softer, obviously. It's not nearly as stiff. You know, when comparing the 98 VCORE to, say, an Aero 98, two very different approaches to similar outcomes. Both hit a very heavy top spinny ball, you know, whereas the VCORE is going to feel a bit more muted, more dampened in feel. The Aero definitely feels a bit crisper.
Right.
Just like I said, two different approaches to it. I'd say the Aero probably has a bit more pop behind it.
Right. Yeah. It has a traditional Yonex flex. That's what Perry's referring to.
Yeah.
So, and we recommend this to people looking for spin, maybe kind of all around.
Very versatile racket line for sure. Exactly. But again, more to that player that has a more modern vertical path type of swing that wants to crush all day.
You sell more 98s or 100s?
98s, I'd say.
Really? In this line? Okay.
I'd say 98s.
All right. All right, and then the final line is the top selling E-Zone of this year.
Yes.
Are you surprised this racket line's done that well?
I really am. I am, but I'm not. I think a confluence of things happened. One, the fact that the line play-wise plays really good. I think the improvements of it compared to, you know, the version 7 it just feels that much more stable to me. It feels about as close to a DR as you're going to get. It's more plush to me in terms of feel.
Right.
I don't feel any sense of deflection if you don't hit right in the sweet spot. I feel like the sweet spot is that much bigger overall.
Interesting.
It's tough to argue with.
Right. No, I thought it was just the color, and everybody likes the color.
I thought that would be the limiting factor, that it wouldn't sell as well because of the color.
Yeah, it looks more girly to me.
Well, right, which is what some people thought of. It's like, I don't know. Boy, were we wrong.
Right. So the 98 and the 100, which sells better for you?
I think the 98 sells a little bit better.
Yeah, me too. The juniors have gotten a grab hold of it and start grabbing. So
yeah,
it's
and it didn't exactly hurt them that Madison Keys was play testing.
But it didn't look like this.
No, it was like a blacked out one, but it had the blue bumper guard on it. And so she goes to Australia at the beginning of the year. She wins the warm-up tournament. Then she plays Australia, and then she wins the Australian Open.
Right.
With this E-zone, and then you see guys like Ben Shelton.
Right. You got the right stars in the right places. Like
right.
Highlighting the racket.
It just blew up, and you can see more and more guys start hitting it. And
yep. So we have the 98, which is, I believe, the #1 seller right now. That 100 is not far behind.
No.
I personally like the 100 a little bit more for feel. 98's a little muted to me.
I tend to like that. So.
Yeah, I like crisp. Sounding off, man.
Yes.
And then we got the light version of the 100, which falls off a little bit. Then you got the plus versions of these.
I love the plus of 98 plus. Hits super solid, and you get that added swing weight. It just feels like it doesn't need any customization at all.
Right. Who do you recommend these to?
I would say of the Yonex line, the E-zone I think has the widest range in terms of playability. Like people of any type of player type, whether you're a novice, whether you're an advanced player, whether you hit heavy topspin or if you hit more linearly, I think it just accommodates the widest range of playing styles.
Right. So the normal 98 person looks like what?
I would say probably 4.0 and above at least.
Mm-hmm.
The 98 I think is a little more demanding than what a lot of people think.
Yeah.
It's definitely more control oriented than a lot of people think. For what we would think of as a tweener racket, it's not a tweener racket. It definitely is more of an advanced player's racket, I'd say.
Yeah, I have juniors that are 14 that have 6, 7, 8 UTRs using it,
Mm-hmm.
As well as like what you said, 4.5s or 4.0s and up using that 98.
For sure.
The 100 is a wider range. Like
Yes.
I have women using it in the 3.5 range, 3.0s, all the way up to men in the 5.0 range.
Yes.
Somebody just looking for a little bit more. High school players doing that too.
I think it's just an easier all-around racket to hit with in terms of the 100 compared to the 98.
Right.
It just comes around a little bit easier. It's a more generous sweet spot. It just more responsive. The 98, yeah, you have to have good technique.
Yeah.
To get the most out of it, I'd say. So it's it's a little more demanding in that respect, but in a good way.
Right. And then there's also that 100 Tour that this one is that you can't get.
Thanks again, Edwin.
You can't get in America. I didn't know they actually did this, but yeah, go to Japan, guys.
Yeah.
Get Regna and get that.
Yeah, hopefully they'll come to their senses and bring this here to the U.S. because
they'll sell out.
I mean, if I had to pick 100, this would be the 100 for me. And I have to catch your video on it.
Oh, yeah.
It's super solid.
Oh, love it. Love it. Second best racket in the line. Second best. Number one being Regna 98.
Absolutely. So there in a nutshell is the Yonex line. So things to look forward to. August.
Mm-hmm.
The alternate color for the Percept.
Yeah, I heard it's navy.
Yes. What Japan's version of navy is, I don't know yet.
Oh,
so
Japan's going to have a different one? Oh my gosh.
I don't know about that. But, there's a rumor out there of version 4.
Reina, I think it's going to be Q1 of 26. That's my guess. Everything's just delayed right now.
Yes.
So
depending on what happens in these next couple months with adjustments and
inventory levels too. So
Yonex has been struggling of late.
They sold too many of those.
They oversold, so they've had to play catch up. And but I think they're starting to normalize now that the initial hype has died down.
Exactly.
But yeah, they just need to You know, open up another factory.
Exactly, in Japan.
Absolutely. Yeah, they don't want to cut corners on their quality assurance.
Well, that's probably part of the problem. So
Yeah, I mean, I can't fault them for that, but at the same time, it makes it hard on the retail side.
well, in the days of Instacart and DoorDash, you know, we want it now.
Yeah, we wanted it
We
yesterday.
don't want it, can't wait 3 months.
No, absolutely not. What do you mean it's delayed? Again, I've been waiting for this for too long.
Exactly.
But great line of rackets. Again, thank you, Yonex.
Yeah, make them faster, but make them good. Perry, thank you so much for showing us the way.
Thank you. And full disclosure, I am a brand ambassador for Yonex. So again, Dwelly, thank you very much.
And that's how he knows so much, because he gets the inside scoops. All right. Guys, thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.